There's something deeply frustrating about lying in bed, knowing you're supposed to be resting, but instead you're wide awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering what's wrong with you. You've tried going to bed earlier, you've tried staying up later, you've tried telling yourself to relax, and yet, night after night, it feels like sleep is something you have to fight for. And when you finally do drift off, it's not the kind of sleep that leaves you feeling refreshed. You wake up groggy, your body heavy, your mind sluggish, and you start the day already running on empty. This is the reality for so many people dealing with sleepless struggles. It's not just about missing rest, it's about losing the energy, focus, and joy that come from truly restorative, healing sleep. But here's the truth that most people don't hear enough. Your body still knows how to sleep. Even if it's been weeks or months or years of tossing and turning, the ability to slip into deep, healing rest hasn't disappeared. It's just been buried under stress, poor habits, and environmental factors that keep your system in a constant state of alert. And the good news is, you can get it back. Healing sleep isn't some luxury reserved for people with perfect lives and zero stress. It's a biological process built into you. A nightly reset designed to repair your body, balance your hormones, strengthen your immune system, and clear out mental clutter so you can wake up feeling clear and capable. The challenge is creating the conditions that let it happen naturally, without forcing it or relying on quick fixes that only mask the problem. In this conversation, we're going to talk about exactly how to do that. How to shift from restless, fragmented nights to the kind of deep, uninterrupted rest that restores both your body and mind. We'll look at why sleepless struggles happen in the first place, what's actually going on inside your body when you can't sleep, and the practical, science-backed steps you can take to make healing sleep your new normal. But before we go any further, I want you to really imagine what this could feel like for you. Imagine lying down at night and feeling a sense of calm wash over you. Your muscles soften, your breathing slows, and instead of thoughts racing through your mind, you feel this gentle drift pulling you toward sleep. You wake in the morning, and the first thing you notice is that your eyes open easily, your body feels light, and you have the kind of energy you haven't felt in a long time. That's what's possible. And yes, I know if you've been stuck in the cycle of sleeplessness, it can be hard to believe. You might be thinking, I've tried everything and nothing works. But here's what I've learned from working with people in your exact situation. You don't have to overhaul your entire life overnight. You just have to start making small, intentional changes that support your body's natural rhythm. And over time, those changes add up to something incredible. This isn't about willpower, and it's not about tricking your brain into shutting down. It's about understanding what your body needs to switch from being in survival mode to being in rest and repair mode. And once you learn how to give it those signals, you'll find that healing sleep isn't something you have to chase. It's something that happens because you've set the stage for it. So if you're tired of lying awake wishing for rest, if you're ready to move beyond sleepless nights and into a season of true recovery, stay with me. In the next part, we're going to break down exactly why sleepless struggles happen, so you can see the patterns and start making changes that actually stick. Because the first step to solving any problem is understanding what's really causing it. If you've been dealing with sleeplessness for a while, It can start to feel like this mysterious, unshakable problem that's unique to you. But the truth is, sleepless struggles almost always come down to a few core processes in the body and mind that are out of balance. Understanding these processes is like finding the map that shows you exactly where the roadblocks are. And once you see them, you can start clearing them away. One of the biggest culprits is stress. And I'm not just talking about feeling worried or overwhelmed. I'm talking about the way stress physically changes your body chemistry. When you're under stress, your adrenal glands release cortisol and adrenaline, hormones that are meant to keep you alert and ready to respond to danger. That's great if you need to slam on the brakes in traffic or run from something threatening, but not so great when you're lying in bed trying to sleep. Elevated cortisol in the evening tells your body it's not safe to relax, so your heart rate stays slightly elevated, your muscles stay tense, and your brain keeps scanning for problems. Even if you're exhausted, your body is still in go mode. Over time, this pattern can become your new normal, and your system stops getting the clear signal that it's time to wind down at night. Another major factor is disruption to your circadian rhythm, the internal clock that tells your body when to feel awake and when to feel sleepy. This rhythm is influenced by light exposure, activity, food timing, and even your social schedule. When you're staying up late on screens, sleeping in on weekends, eating at irregular hours, or traveling across time zones, your body clock can get completely out of sync. And when that happens, your sleep hormones like melatonin don't line up with your actual bedtime, making it harder to fall asleep when you want to. Then there's the role of lifestyle choices, some of which seem harmless but have a big impact on sleep quality. Caffeine is the obvious one. It can stay in your system for up to 8 hours, so that afternoon coffee or tea can still be affecting you at bedtime. Alcohol is another sneaky disruptor. It might help you fall asleep faster initially, but it fragments your sleep cycles, especially REM sleep, leaving you feeling unrefreshed. Heavy meals close to bedtime force your digestive system to keep working when your body should be focusing on repair and restoration. And sugar spikes, followed by crashes, can wake you up in the middle of the night. But it's not just about what you eat or drink. It's also about the mental habits that develop around sleeplessness itself. Once you've had a few rough nights, it's incredibly easy to start worrying about whether you'll sleep tonight. That worry creates anxiety, which triggers more cortisol, which makes it even harder to fall asleep. It's a vicious cycle, and the more you try to force sleep, the more elusive it becomes. I've seen so many people trapped in this loop. They dread bedtime because it's become a reminder of all the nights they couldn't sleep. Their brain has started associating the bed with frustration instead of rest, and that association becomes a powerful barrier to sleep. Physical discomfort is another often overlooked cause. It might be a mattress that doesn't support you well, a pillow that puts your neck at the wrong angle, or even subtle things like the temperature in your room being just a bit too warm. Your body needs to drop its core temperature by a couple of degrees to fall asleep. So if your sleep environment is too hot, it's going to be an uphill battle. And here's the thing. Once these factors start stacking up, your body can enter what's called a hyperarousal state. That's when your baseline level of alertness is higher than it should be, even during times of rest. In this state, your brain is like a car engine that's idling too high. It's burning through fuel even when you're not moving. You might feel tired but wired, where your body is begging for rest, but your mind won't slow down. This is why just going to bed earlier doesn't solve the problem. If you're in hyperarousal, you need to actively guide your nervous system back into a calmer state before sleep can happen naturally. And finally, it's worth mentioning that certain health conditions can make sleepless struggles worse. Things like sleep apnea, thyroid imbalances, chronic pain, or hormonal shifts during menopause. These aren't always the root cause, but they can amplify the effects of stress, poor sleep hygiene, and circadian disruption. The good news is that in most cases, even when these conditions are present, improving your sleep environment, daily habits, and relaxation techniques can still make a huge difference. So when you think about your sleepless nights, I want you to stop seeing them as this mysterious, unsolvable thing. They are the result of specific, identifiable patterns in your body and mind, and those patterns can be changed. In the next part, we're going to break down exactly how to start making those changes, how to support your body's natural sleep cycles, calm your nervous system, and create the conditions where healing sleep becomes your new normal. Because once you understand the why, the how, becomes a lot easier to put into action. The moment you start thinking about improving your sleep, it's tempting to focus only on what happens at night. But the truth is, your best nights of rest start with what you do the moment you wake up. Think of it like setting a trajectory for your body's internal clock. If you start the day on the right track, it becomes much easier to land smoothly into deep rest at night. One of the most powerful things you can do is wake up at the same time every single day, and even after a bad night. I know it's hard when you've barely slept and your body is begging for more. But consistency is what retrains your circadian rhythm. When your body knows exactly when to expect light in the morning and darkness at night, it starts releasing the right hormones at the right time. That leads me to light exposure, which is basically your circadian rhythm's reset button. Within an hour of waking, step outside and let natural light hit your eyes. No sunglasses, if you can help it. Even on cloudy days, the brightness of outdoor light is dozens of times more powerful than indoor lighting at signaling to your brain that it's daytime. This suppresses melatonin and boosts cortisol in a healthy, natural way, helping you feel alert in the morning and sleepy at night. Movement is another huge factor. When you move your body during the day, whether that's a brisk walk, a workout, or even just stretching regularly, you're not only burning energy but also improving the depth of your sleep at night. Physical activity increases slow-wave sleep, which is the deep, restorative stage where your body repairs itself. Just be mindful about timing. High-intensity exercise too close to bedtime can keep you too stimulated to drift off easily. Nutrition plays a bigger role than most people realize. Start thinking about your meals not just in terms of calories or nutrition, but also in terms of timing. Eating large, heavy meals right before bed forces your digestive system to keep working when your body should be focusing on repair. Instead, aim to finish your last substantial meal at least 2 to 3 hours before bedtime. If you need a snack later, keep it small and balanced, like a banana with almond butter or a few walnuts, which contain natural compounds that support sleep. Caffeine deserves special mention here. Even if you can drink coffee in the afternoon and still fall asleep, caffeine might still be affecting your sleep quality by reducing deep sleep. As a general rule, it's best to have your last caffeinated drink before noon. Alcohol, too, is a tricky one. It might make you feel sleepy, but it disrupts REM sleep and can lead to more nighttime awakenings. If you want healing sleep, alcohol is best limited or avoided in the hours before bed. Your evening routine is where you really set the tone for the night. About an hour before bed, start dimming the lights in your home. This helps trigger melatonin production and tells your body that it's time to wind down. Screen time is one of the biggest sleep disruptors because of blue light exposure. So if you must use devices, consider blue light filters or glasses. But even better, replace that screen time with something calmer like reading, journaling, or listening to soft music. And remember, this isn't just about avoiding stimulation. It's also about creating an environment that feels safe and restful. Your bedroom should be a space your brain associates only with sleep and intimacy. That means keeping it cool, dark, and quiet. A temperature around 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit is ideal for most people, and blackout curtains or an eye mask can help keep out light. If noise is an issue, a white noise machine or fan can create a consistent background sound that masks sudden disruptions. One of the most effective but underrated strategies for healing sleep is what I call preparing your nervous system. This means actively shifting from the day's busyness into a state of calm before bed. You can do this through deep breathing, progressive muscle relaxation, gentle stretching, or mindfulness meditation. The goal is to tell your brain, "It's safe now, we can rest." This is especially important if you've been stuck in that tired but wired state where your body is exhausted but your mind is racing. Another thing to keep in mind is that healing sleep is cumulative. One great night of rest is wonderful, but the real magic happens when you start stacking good nights together. That's when you notice your mood lifting, your focus sharpening, and your energy becoming more stable throughout the day. It's like filling up a well that's been running dry for too long. The more consistently you pour into it, the stronger and more resilient you become. And perhaps the most important mindset shift of all is realizing that you're not trying to force sleep. You're creating the conditions where sleep can happen naturally. That's a huge difference. Forcing sleep is stressful. Creating the right environment and routine is empowering. It's a gentle, steady process, and over time it becomes second nature. In the next part, we're going to focus on what to actually do in those critical moments when you're in bed and sleep still feels far away. Because even with the best daily habits, there will be nights when your mind won't stop talking or your body won't fully let go. Knowing how to navigate those moments without spiraling back into frustration is the key to overcoming sleepless struggles for good. You've done the work during the day, you've set your wake time, gotten your light exposure, moved your body, eaten at the right times, and given yourself a calm evening routine. Now comes the part that feels the most important, the moment you're actually in bed. For a lot of people who've struggled with sleeplessness, this is when things start to go wrong. They lie down, turn out the lights, and instead of feeling relaxed, their mind suddenly lights up like a highway at rush hour. Thoughts start racing about the day, about tomorrow, about things from years ago that have no business showing up right now. Or maybe it's not thoughts, it's tension. Shoulders tight, jaw clenched, legs restless. The body might feel exhausted, but the nervous system hasn't gotten the memo that it's safe to let go. This is where techniques that work directly with your body and mind at the same time can be a game changer. One of the simplest yet most effective is what I like to call lengthened breathing. The idea is to slow down your breath in a way that signals your parasympathetic nervous system, the part of you responsible for rest and digestion, that it's time to take over. You can start by breathing in gently through your nose for a count of 4, holding for a second or 2, and then exhaling through your mouth for a count of 6. That slightly longer exhale is the secret. It tells your body you're safe and can start powering down. Repeat that for a few minutes, and you'll often feel your heart rate slow, your muscles loosen, and your thoughts begin to fade into the background. Another technique that works beautifully is progressive muscle relaxation. This involves deliberately tensing and then releasing each muscle group, one at a time, from your toes all the way up to your face. Curl your toes, hold for a few seconds, and release. Tighten your calves, hold, release. By the time you get to your shoulders and jaw, you'll notice a wave of softness spreading through your body. This works because it helps you become aware of tension you didn't even realize you were holding, and the act of releasing it tells your brain it's okay to drift into rest. Visualization is another powerful tool. The key here is to engage your senses in a calming, immersive scene that feels safe and peaceful. Maybe you picture yourself walking along a quiet beach at sunrise, feeling the cool sand under your feet, hearing the soft crash of waves, smelling the salt in the air. Or maybe you imagine lying in a hammock in the shade, the sound of leaves rustling above you, the warmth of the sun on your skin. Your brain can't hold on to racing, anxious thoughts while it's busy filling in the details of a soothing image. That's why visualization can be such an effective way to bypass mental chatter. One mindset shift that makes a huge difference in these moments is letting go of the idea that you have to fall asleep right now. When you put that kind of pressure on yourself, you activate the very stress response you're trying to quiet. Instead, tell yourself, I'm just going to rest. Whether sleep comes quickly or slowly, I'm still giving my body what it needs. This softer approach removes the performance anxiety around sleeping and often allows you to drift off faster. If you do find yourself lying awake for more than about 20 minutes and feeling frustrated, it's better to get out of bed for a short while. Go to a dimly lit room and do something calming. Read a few pages of a book, listen to gentle music, or do some light stretching. Once you start feeling sleepy again, head back to bed. This prevents your brain from associating the bed with wakefulness and frustration, which is one of the biggest traps for chronic sleeplessness. Sound can also be a big ally in this stage. Some people sleep best in complete silence, but others find that white noise, pink noise, or nature sounds help them stay in a deeper, more consistent rest. The sound acts like a blanket for your hearing, covering up sudden changes in noise that might wake you up. Just make sure it's something steady and unobtrusive so your brain doesn't keep tuning into it consciously. Comfort is another foundation you can't ignore. If your mattress sags, your pillow forces your neck into an awkward position, or your bedding traps too much heat, your body will have a harder time fully relaxing. Healing sleep is about removing barriers, and physical discomfort is one of the most direct barriers there is. Experiment with pillow height, try breathable cotton or bamboo sheets, and keep your room slightly cool so your body can naturally lower its temperature for sleep. And here's something subtle but powerful. You can create a sensory association between certain scents and sleep. Using the same calming scent like lavender or chamomile in the form of a pillow spray or essential oil diffuser during your wind-down routine can, over time, become a cue that it's time to rest. Just like certain songs can bring back vivid memories instantly, certain smells can signal your brain to enter a familiar, relaxed state. The beauty of all these techniques is that they're not about forcing anything. They're about creating the right internal and external environment so your body's natural sleep process can take over. When you stop trying to wrestle yourself into sleep and instead focus on feeling safe, comfortable, and calm, you make it so much easier for healing sleep to find you. And the more you practice these techniques, the more automatic they become. Over time, your body starts to respond to them like a well-learned dance. You do the steps, and your mind and body follow along into rest. In the next part, we're going to talk about how to make these changes stick for the long term, so sleepless struggles don't sneak back into your life and undo your progress. Because once you've worked this hard to create healing sleep, you want to make sure it stays with you for good. The thing about overcoming sleepless struggles is that it's not just about getting your sleep back once, it's about making sure you keep it. Sleep is like your physical fitness. You can build it up, you can make it strong, but if you stop caring for it, it can slip away again. So the question becomes, how do you make healing sleep your normal state, not just a temporary win? It starts with protecting the routines that got you here in the first place. When you first begin improving your sleep, you probably pay close attention to your wake-up time, your light exposure, your evening wind down. But once you start sleeping well, it's easy to get a little relaxed about those habits. Maybe you stay up later on weekends, sleep in after a rough night, skip your morning walk because you think you've fixed your sleep. The problem is, your circadian rhythm loves stability. And when you start shifting things around too much, it can quickly lose its rhythm. So one of the most important things you can do is keep your wake-up time consistent, even on days off. It's like telling your body, this is our anchor, no matter what. That anchor is what keeps your internal clock steady and your sleep hormones cycling properly. The next thing to watch is your stress level, because stress is one of the fastest ways to pull you back into sleepless patterns. Even if you're handling things well now, life will inevitably throw challenges your way. And if you let that stress go unchecked, it will start showing up at night. That's why you need a daily practice of stress relief, not just something you do when you're already wound up. Whether it's a walk after dinner, journaling before bed, deep breathing during the day, or spending time in nature, these little resets keep your nervous system from slipping back into high alert. Your environment matters too, and it's worth checking in on it regularly. Seasons change, temperatures shift, your schedule changes, and sometimes your bedroom setup needs an update. In the summer, you might need lighter bedding or blackout curtains to block early sunrise. In the winter, maybe you want a heavier comforter or a humidifier to keep the air from drying out. Think of your sleep space as something you fine-tune over time, not something you set once and forget. Food and drink habits are another area where it's easy to drift. Maybe you cut out afternoon coffee while fixing your sleep, but over time you let it creep back in. Or you start having that glass of wine with dinner again, not realizing it's affecting your REM sleep. Staying mindful about when and what you consume is key to keeping your nights deep and restorative. Caffeine after noon, heavy meals too close to bedtime, or more than a small amount of alcohol in the evening. These are all things that can chip away at your progress if you're not paying attention. One habit that helps a lot of people maintain great sleep is keeping a simple sleep log. This doesn't have to be complicated. You just jot down when you went to bed, when you woke up, how rested you felt, and any notable factors from the day. Over time, patterns emerge. You'll see what supports your healing sleep and what throws it off. This awareness gives you the power to course correct quickly before small disruptions turn into full-blown sleeplessness again. Social life is another factor that's worth thinking about. Late nights out, irregular schedules, and last-minute plans can all be fun, but they can also throw your rhythm off if you're not careful. That doesn't mean you have to avoid them. It just means you balance them with enough recovery time afterward. If you stay out late one night, you can still get up at your regular wake-up time and then take a short nap later in the day rather than sleeping in and shifting your whole schedule. Keep in mind that movement and light exposure aren't just fixes for poor sleep. They're ongoing maintenance tools. Even once you're sleeping well, keep moving your body during the day and keep getting that morning light. These are the anchors that keep your circadian rhythm in sync, and without them, you can start drifting again without even realizing it. And then there's mindset. When you start seeing yourself as someone who takes care of their sleep, instead of someone who struggles with sleep, you make decisions differently. You start saying no to late-night screen binges more easily. You start prioritizing your wind-down routine because it's part of who you are now. This identity shift is one of the most powerful ways to make your progress last. Finally, remember that perfection isn't the goal, resilience is. You will have nights when things don't go perfectly. You might travel, you might be sick, you might have a week of high stress at work. The difference now is that you know how to get back on track. You don't spiral into panic because you've been here before and you know what works. You stick to your wake time, you use your calming techniques, you adjust your environment, and you trust the process. That's how sleepless struggles stop being a defining feature of your life and become just the occasional bump in the road. In the last part of this talk, we're going to pull all of this together and look at how healing sleep doesn't just fix your nights. It transforms your days, your energy, and the way you show up in life. Because the benefits don't stop when you wake up. They ripple through everything you do. When you look at everything we've covered, it's clear that healing sleep isn't some mysterious gift that a lucky few people are born with. It's a natural process your body already knows how to do, and what we've been talking about is simply clearing away the things that get in its way. We've looked at why sleepless struggles happen, how stress, circadian disruption, lifestyle habits, and mindset can keep you stuck. We've gone through the steps you can take during the day to set yourself up for a good night, the techniques you can use in bed to calm your mind and body, and the ways you can protect your progress so sleepless nights don't creep back in. This is your blueprint for taking back control of your nights, and by extension, your days. Because the truth is, sleep touches every single part of your life. When you're well rested, your mood is lighter, your patience is greater, your thinking is clearer, and your energy is steady. You have more bandwidth for the people and the things you care about. you're more creative, more resilient, and more present in the moment. And it's not just about how you feel, it's about your long-term health. Healing sleep strengthens your immune system, supports heart health, balances hormones, and even helps regulate weight. It's your body's nightly repair shop, and when it's running well, everything else runs better too. If you've been struggling for a long time, I know it can feel daunting to start. But remember, you don't have to do it all at once. Pick one thing from what we've talked about and start there. Maybe it's getting outside for morning light. Maybe it's keeping a consistent wake-up time. Maybe it's creating a calming wind-down ritual. Small changes, done consistently, create momentum. And as you start to feel the difference, even if it's subtle at first, you'll be motivated to keep going. Over time, these habits become second nature, and sleep stops being something you have to fight for. It becomes something that happens naturally because your life is aligned to support it. So don't think of this as a sleep fix. Think of it as building a sleep-supporting lifestyle, one that works with your body instead of against it. And when you commit to that, you're not just overcoming sleepless struggles. You're giving yourself the foundation for better health, more joy, and a more vibrant life. I've seen this transformation happen over and over, and I can tell you, it's possible for you. You have the tools now. All that's left is to start. And here's what I want you to do next. If this video has helped you, even in a small way, hit that like button so more people who are dealing with sleeplessness can find it. Share it with a friend or family member who's been saying they can't sleep. Because sometimes just hearing that there's a way forward is the first step to change. And if you want more practical, science-backed tips to improve your health and energy, subscribe to our channel, The Daily Health Shift, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. I want you to experience what it feels like to wake up rested, to go through your day with energy, and to know that sleepless struggles are no longer running your life. Sleep well tonight, and I'll see you in the next video.